everyone, I'm Chan Yi. Taiwan is my home is also the place for us to embrace each other and fight together. Today we're going to see the story about this couple. Taiwanese husband and Shanxi wife, how they strive together is very interesting. It's very special Shanxi cuisine. They especially bought the Shanxi flavor here that is very special, that the Taiwanese husband take care of the cooking, and how special is like the noodle that is wild as a belt. It's one of the 8 strange wonders of Shanxi belt noodle. This is the biang biang noodle from our hometown Shanxi. By rubbing, stretching, and pulling, and also whipping, the noodle is wider and thicker, and it tastes very chewy. Talking about the delicacy, Yangqing is from Shanxi. Shanxi people loves to eat wheaten food, and they favor handmade noodle. Yang brought her hometown flavor to Taiwan by the one who really made it is the husband, Zhang Yizhi. It doesn't take too much strength. It's about the secret if you get the tips. In fact, it's not really hard. Belt noodle is as wide as a belt, and it's just like the we Northern Eastern people who's unconcentrated, we seldom eat thin noodle. Belt noodle is also called biang biang noodle. The name comes from the sound when they are making by whipping the dough. Shanxi people makes noodles wide as belt, and the noodle is wide and solid, about 2 to 3 fingers wide. It makes foreigners so amazed that they put it as the top of the 8 strange wonders of Shanxi. Biang biang noodle. Apex rising to the sky over 2 bends by Yellow River side. Character 8 is opening wide. Speech enters inside. Twist left, twist right, go to the right, go to the front. Adding a horse king in the middle. Held one down, moon by the side. Leave a hook for a wonton to Guangdong. Our courage is a Shan Yi will ride. This is biang biang noodle, and it's also the 8 top of strange wonders of Shanxi. This bowl of belt noodle sprinkles crushed chilies and glaze it with hot oil. Hot chilies with oil, the special dishes to Shanxi people. It's not a sauce, it's a real delicacy. Every special dish in Yang's restaurant is authentic Shanxi gourmet, but their real signature cuisine is lamb soup noodle in the basin. It is also the gourmet for his dear wife hometown Shanxi. They call it, instead of calling it bowl, they call it basin. They say it because their bowls are bigger. The bowl is as big as a basin. Inside the bowl it fills with the soup. It's just like a basin, that's why it's called it basin. I don't eat pork. However, in Taiwan, eating pork is very common, including oil of pork. I don't eat all of these things. However, I'm not a Muslim. Using beef, so I just think to make beef dumpling, it's probably the imported beef or frozen beef. I don't know either. The smell is very strong. My husband suggests us opening a restaurant which sells Shanxi cuisine so that I could eat in the restaurant every day. Yang misses her hometown flavor. Her husband Jen just cooks for her. And this Taiwanese know how to make Shanxi dishes because he made business in Xi'an for more than 10 years. He had run a B&B and sold computer accessories after married to the local lady, Yang Qing. They also tasted all kind of gourmets, and Shanxi tasting gourmets gives him some thoughts about eating. He just keep tasting and eating. Since he stayed in Xi'an for more than 10 years, he has some favorite food. He would just keep tasting and tasting, and he had all this time he had made some study about spice. In the end, he would know how to formulate some certain dishes. Their specialty is that they add extra spices in their dishes. Usually in Taiwan, people will add more Chinese herbs. The distinct difference is the taste of Shanxi is heavier. It's very salty. When we make the dishes here, we add less salt to bring out the smell of the meat. Zhang's secret recipe is the formulation of Shanxi flavor, then just adjusted to cater Taiwanese taste. what he's good at is another strange wonders of Sanxi. The pancake is in the shape of panlets, which means the large round baked wheat cake. It's as large as the panlets. This is a special receipt from Zhang's mother-in-law in Xi'an. After coming back to Taiwan, he modified a bit. The pancake is too big, which is a bit wide when it's cut to 6 or 8 pieces. It's not easy to put stuffing in the middle, so we just modified into a small one. It's round and looks cute. It looks like a hamburger when we stuffing in the middle. When foreigners see that, they say it's Chinese hamburger. Although it's small and delicate, it still has Sanxi taste. The husband and wife just opened a restaurant which sells Sanxi cuisine. Compared to other husbands who insist, Zhang is more relaxed. I support him spiritually. I encourage him at his side, fighting. My role in the restaurant is to be a living signboard. These couples would give up their business result in China and come back to Taiwan and start their new career. The key point is their oldest daughter's education problem. Start from the digit 10. If you can't divide it evenly, move to the later one, just like this. Comparing to the education competition in Taiwan, in China, when kids are in the inter-kindergarten stages, they are fully prepared for the competition. Teachers will yell at parents. If parents don't track kids' homework well, teachers will ask parents to come to school and scold them, like, "These children learn this at school. How come your parents didn't help children to review the lesson?" A child studies with the whole family's company generally couldn't stand this kind of high-pressured education system. Therefore, the whole family decided to move back to Taiwan. Because father says that we went out not until 8 o'clock and come back home at 7 o'clock, going to kindergarten is more tiring than going to college, so he insists to let our such kids study here. Basically, our kids stay in the school 12 hours. And I think the pressure of education competition is too high. So I just discussed with my wife, and maybe we'll just come back for school. Don't let her live in such an intense life. Wash face, let's wash the face. After the whole family moved back to Taiwan, Yang has one more daughter, with younger sisters accompany without the education competition. Her older daughter is more cheerful. She is more cheerful, not that careful as like the time we're in China. Her personality was very serious. I used to say she's like Sherman, too serious. In the end, she becomes very cheerful after we come back. When she was in China, she never laughed from her heart, laughing at ease. Here you can see from the photos, she's really laughs from the bottom of her heart. There are two sides of every door, because maybe Taiwan focused more on the education of love than when a teacher teach children, parents seems to have a lot of opinions. Because in China, the so-called education is whatever teacher teach, the parents don't give any opinions. The older daughter now is in the 4th grade in the primary school. When she has free time, she becomes a little helper to all the things about China, but she probably forgets about the Sanxi dishes she had. It's a memory she never forgets. She ate a lot. What does the customer order? What does she want to eat? She said, "I want lamb." She would say, "Daddy, I want a lamb." When a customer orders a lamb, bone marrow, "Daddy, I want a bone marrow." She's always like this. Sanxi cuisine is not common in Taipei. There are many hometown fellows would come for its reputation to relieve their homesick. There are only 2 of us, so we ate a lot. Yes, it's very delicious. Running the store for almost 4 years, Yang's hometown flavor not only caters customer taste but also becomes an emotional rely after she comes to Taiwan. There was a period of time I felt very tired. My second child was just born. For 4-5 months. I carried her on my back while I was working, running around by carrying her. This is how women would do. It all depends on my wills. If I want, I could do whatever I want, because my husband loves me very much. He just found a nanny in a short time to take care of our baby. Zhang is 16 years older than Yang. The Taiwanese husband's consideration and sweetness let her think coming to Taiwan is the right choice. I said, "You have to treat my parents just like treating your parents. As for your parents, I will take care of them just like the way I treat my own parents. I have a relationship with you with all my heart, so it's impossible You should not be mean or violent to me. I can't accept this. The way we get along, he is very male domination, but he loves me very much. The strength of unity among the husband and wife can break gold. The business of the restaurant is getting better and better and make them experience the busy life and spread themselves too thin. Yang laughs and said that her best wish is to ask a day off from her husband. I said after the New Year, could you please give me a Saturday or Sunday off? He said, not Saturday or Sunday, you could get off afternoon. You don't have to work in the afternoon, you could accompany kids at home in the afternoon. Yes, taking care of children is her biggest wish, that's mine too. But you have to earn money, right? You can't take care of, good care of both business and family at the same time. We can create and run this business together. But to some levels, we have to find out who should control it and who to insist to make this business better. It's not necessarily that you should be at the first line or who should be at the backstage. Zhang couldn't run without his wife's assistance, just like the sanshi lamb's cuisine in the restaurants. The spine and knees of lambs, you can't take it perfect if you miss one part of them. I am proud to say that we have opened this restaurant for 4 years. We never gave out a flyer on the street. We never did that at all. We never print or name cards when the customers come to eat there before they leave. They asked me whether I have name cards or not. I told them no, but you can take the menu. There's phone number on the menu. Customers recognize our hard efforts. Our whole family has the same heart. Family with the same heart. Yes. The family with the same heart also includes the son of husband's ex-wife. He comes to help too. Family, take care of family. We're all family because in fact our stepmom treats us well. After all, family is more reliable. They don't have to seek a job outside and they have a stable business and a feeling of being in a big family is good. Yang builds up a big family in Taiwan. She even broke the custom that even the ancient time the Sanshi ladies don't marry to guys far away. Now it's not the ancient time. As long as this man can bring you the happiness, where is the place with him is the happy place. Our whole family put a lot of effort on one thing. With my husband and my children by my side, I think I'm happy. Taking family as the first priority, Yang and her husband, Zhang, depend on the Sanshi hometown flavors, continuing their happiness in Taiwan. Whole family working hard together is this happiness, and the next lady who is from Yunnan is same as her husband. They stay in Taiwan for kids' education. They also sell food. What they sell is hui and Sichuan-style spicy beef noodle. The soul of the beef noodle is all in this big pot. This is also Li's work, which takes her a lot of time every day. We usually would buy beef ribs. The meat is thicker, and the meat juice would stay. The meat will keep the juice. If the meat is thick and the meat juice would be locked inside, the taste won't go gone. If the meat is too thin after you cook it, all the meat juice would stay in the soup. The beef noodle of Taiwan is very famous, but this lady from Yunnan understands to make it distinct in the market, so she won't sell Taiwanese flavors like others. She only make the flavor which mixes with hui and Sichuan style. The beef noodle is full of spicy taste. My grandma is one of the Hui people. My family is the combination of Hui and Han people. In our childhood, during the summer vacation, we always went to our aunt's house, and she always cooked this beef. Since I was little, I saw her cooking and I learned how to cook. In Taiwan in general, I know they usually use beef shanked with beef poach, which includes some Chinese herbs to improve the flavor, adding some soy sauce and sugar with beef poach to stew it are ways to use the sauce. For example, I cook with Sichuan flavor. I would add some chili sauce. Generally, we cook beef with ginger roots, and I personally would add some gingers to improve the taste. presenting all kinds of spices such as peppers, star anise, ginger roots, and onions, and also the origin of hot spicy stocking. The hot chili paste and old sauce is also the secret exclusive recipe beef pouch. Lee says to make the beef noodle hot and spicy, it all depends on these ingredients, and controlling heat is also the key point. Hot chili paste. When you are stir-frying the star anise and peppers, you have to notice the fire. You should turn down the fire, otherwise those spices will burn. Stir-frying the anise and the peppers until aroma comes out. We will add the sauce to stir-fry it. Do you have to keep stir-frying? Yes. Until the two sauces and the oil are all mixed together into one. When you smell it, to see whether you get the fermentation smell, at the moment you would add beef, over 10 kgs of beef. Lee is waving the spatula and stir-frying continuously. She has to keep doing this for at least half hours. This kind of labor makes her arms sore and pain all the time. In order to make this delicious beef soup, Lee has to prepare from early morning. Until she cooks the soup well, it is afternoon already. Try to poke it. It's still a little bit hard because it won't be poked through. The delicious beef with rich and aromatic spicy smell is the taste that she keeps trying, which to cater Taiwanese flavors. At first, when I sell it, the feedback from the customers is too spicy. Now they're all used to the taste and they even think it's not spicy enough. Maybe because they've been eating the spicy food and they're used to be the spicy food already. I think they're not spicy enough. It's different with China. People's taste is not so strong. Hello, what do you want to have today? Beef noodle. How many kinds of beef noodle do you have? We have Sichuan style and purebraised. Sichuan style is more special. Lee is 35 years old from Yunnan. When she was 24 years old, she left home and headed to north to work in Kunshao, Jiangsu. And she met her husband, who was on a business trip. They started as friends when the passion is pursuing by her husband. 6 years ago, she finally accepted his purpose. And this reason why I was hesitating is the distance. I never thought to get married and move to such a far place. Yes, in the end, we would like to get married. We're at that ages. I think this man is nice. I had knew him for 4 to 5 years, and I think he's a great man. So I decided to marry him. Originally, I married him. I never thought to live in Taiwan. My plan was to stay in Yunnan. But then I just came here and have a wedding. After the wedding, I never went back. I was unable to go back. I don't want to go to Taiwan. Before they got married, Lee insisted very much. However, after they got married, she was unable to go back, all because their lovely surprise came suddenly. After she gave birth to the baby, she considered the whole education environment in the future. She decided to stay in Taiwan and to settle down here. Do you like the food that your wife cooks? Yes, of course. That's the reason I married her. She said I was very good at cooking, marrying me for my cooking skill. Just for certain taste must be stronger, but I could accept all the others. I just like the fermented soybeans. I told you I really can't stand the smell. Like what? Let me tell you, it really smells like feet. Do you like it? I got too used to it. Since we're little, we don't think it's a big deal. Yeah. Hui people is the top expert of cooking beef. Lee is inherited with this blood. After being a full-time mother for 2 years, one side she was eager to cook. For the other side, she wants to share the loading of the family. With her husband's encouragement, she decided to sell beef noodle. At first, the business was very poor. After 6 months, she finally got more and more customers. The business was getting better at the second year. However, at this moment, an accident happened in the restaurant. Where did the fire burn to? Here. You can see here the color is different. That bricks. More than 10 bricks were burned because the temperature was too high. There were still customers. I just went out and I forgot to turn off the fire. I didn't turn off the fire after the customers left. I just came inside a hurry. It's all burned. The firefighter came and sprayed the powders, and after they left, there are all dry powders under the water. They're all dust, and the whole house was black, and the black smoke cleaning the kitchen after the fire. It's a small thing. In order to put out the fire, Lee's arm got second-degree burns, which forced to have her stop working for 1 month. This is more serious. When I was coming in to turn off the fire, the lighting up here is probably the melting. The plastic was dripping to my arm and it was deeper. When it dropped on my skin, it was still spreading. I was not able to get rid of it. It really hurts. She was facing the shocks in this accident because her husband goes on business trip very often. Normally, Lee had to take care of her child and store her by her own. With such a serious accident, unbelievably, she informed her husband, who was in Indonesia after 2 days, and she haven't met him for 6 months already. Did you cry? Were you calling him? No, I didn't. How can you be so strong? It was okay. Because there are 2 ladies of my neighbor. They came to help me. I felt warm inside. Don't shoot me like this. As by you, I have some feelings in my heart. I thought about all these later, I think. Actually, at that time, many people helped me. I was very happy and satisfied. So I didn't really even cry at once at that time. Now I think about all the things. I didn't even know how I came through like this for 6 months, yes. The wound would recover gradually. However, Lee didn't have time to think too much. She was driving at the foreign land with her child. All she knew was putting on the gloves and start the business of her noodle shop. Marinating the beef with peppers, which is soaked in sorghum, pouring on the meat and massaging it. What's the purpose of massaging it? Well, one is to make the meat soft. Another one is to let the taste of the liquid and peppers mingled into the meat. I just want to eat because what we brought inside is without our hometown flavor. Yunnan people are good at making cured meat. Originally, Lee started to make it its comfort to her homesick. Unexpectedly, she took it as a treat to the customers. People who tasted are admiring a lot and ordered from her. And every year in the wintertime, she had to start this complex process from marinating, soaking, air drying. In the end, she even had to use the baseg to smoke it. Because Taiwan is more humid, by doing this, 1, the meat would have a smoky smell. The 2 is to dry out the water. From the meat in our hometown, the weather's drier. However, we hang it up under the roof, it would be air dried. It's more humid. If we do that, the meat will go bad. So we just smoke it to make it dry quickly. If we smoke it dry, we dry out the water. By using fans, we could put it into freezers directly. It could be preserved for more than 1 year. Smoking meat takes about 1 hour. At this period, she couldn't leave the fire and she had to keep flipping over. Lee's noodle shop, she earns every penny by using all her strength in order to have their own house. Recently, this family with 3 members just moved into the new house. With such big news, it led Lee's mom, who haven't been to Taiwan before, came to here to witness her daughter's hard efforts. At that time, I was reluctant to leave my daughter. I have 1 son and 1 daughter. I was still reluctant to leave them. However, in the end, I think as long as they're good, I'm still waiting for time to solve it. As long as they're good, we don't have other opinions. Lee's mom let her daughter go to let her choose her own marriage and business. Mrs. Lee used to have a small diner which sold rice noodles. Of course, she would know how tiring it is to make food business. So 3 years ago, when she knew her daughter is going to sell beef noodles, she was really reluctant to see her doing this. She just said, "I'm very tired. When I just opened the restaurant, I was a little bit regretted already." Regret? I told my mom before, at first I was really tired and I didn't know the process either. We were sorry for her. If we were there, we could have this helped a bit, but it's too far. Inheriting her mother's good skill of cooking, Lee settles down in Taiwan and lives here, tasted other flavors which belongs to her. Because when we're selling a bowl of noodles, we still have to start from washing, purchasing, and cooking with processes, starting from morning and close at night. It's all the same. If you sell 10 bowls of noodles, you have to do the same process. At first, I thought maybe I could sell this shop, give up. It's really hard. In the end, the neighbor persuaded me that don't give up because your child is too young and it's not easy for you to find a job. And I thought she was right. Because where my husband and my child are, that's my home. Where husband and child are, this is my home. After all, here is my husband's route. Where the needle goes, the thread follows. Where the needle goes, the thread follows. Lee is seeing the whole family being together and the bitterness of past is all left and lingering in memories once in a while. A lady from Austria loves to singing and she never give up after she married and have a child. She still have the chance to be on the stages. The prelude starts, waiting and holding the breath. Changing with some section of breathing, the charming voice is the singing's lovely melody. In sleep he sang to me, in dreams he came. That voice which calls to me is calling my name. Colleen comes from Australia, is a vocalist. She says singing is the most important thing in her life. As long as she sings, she would feel happy. So I think this music is inside my body. Can you understand that? Colleen's first performance in Taiwan was a joint concert with the leading male singer of Phantom of the Opera, Paul Leveve. At the audition, her voice did left to the people very deep impression. In the short time is our time. You have your family, and they need you. Even though I tried so hard to avoid becoming to the last one on your list, I don't have other men because I leaving all my love to you, 'cause I'm saving all my love to you. At the first audition, her voice made us very amazed and also made us wonder what a talent exists on earth. Always buried by this thought, so we were very lucky to know Colleen went this way. Speaking of buried, that's because Colleen's singing career was interrupted for a long time. My family support me to sing, but they asked me to do something else too. So I was singing at home until I was 17 years old. In the end, I majored psychology in college. At the period of time I was in Australia, I sang too, but most of the time I just sang with my friend or sang in the restaurant or a pub where I wasn't able to earn much money. After graduating from university, she still wants to continue her career of vocal music. Although this is not what she wanted, her parents expected, but she still had vocal dreams. There was one time I was with a group. They were a performing group. Most of the time they performed outside. For example, once in 2 or 3 days. They sell at outdoors. I was singing with them. I had other jobs too. About 5 years later, I came to Taiwan. At the time, her brother was in Taiwan already and lived here for 3 years. Colleen wants to come here and see this Asian country, so she just packed and left. She made a living by teaching English in Taiwan. Later, with her friend's introduction, she met her present husband and she let him decide to settle down here. Later then I have my baby, I wasn't able to sing vocal music because every night I have to be at home. After getting married, she focuses on her family. Then until both of her children went to elementary school, she finally had her free time to start to think about another possibility of her life. One of my friends told me that he knew a man because there was a performance. They were looking for a lady who can sing. I found that this could be a chance. I could really start my favorite. In fact, I want to sing in my whole life. My dream is singing. I was thinking this is probably a chance. I could take this chance to sing again. Just like an eagle waiting for a long time, seeing the target she was seeing, Colleen faced it very actively. Every test time seemed to be her chance, trying to make up her blank in the best. Actually, when she was practicing, she was very nervous. Yes, maybe because her singing career was interrupted before, but her talent is still very good. At first, she was practicing. She was very nervous, in fact, but among all the members, she was the most punctual. She was always the first one being and the last one leaving here. She's very enthusiastic. Such enthusiastic attitude seems to start from her childhood. When she was 8 years old, she met her very special teacher. She actively learned the skill from the master when she was little. She entered the vocal world with limitation. When I was in Austria, there was one day I was at school. A singer from Sydney, she sang to us. Since then, I think I have interest in singing, and I think I'm able to sing. Maybe I could learn from her. After she sang, I went to speak to her. I asked her that I am interested in learning singing. Would you be my teacher? She said that singing is somehow. I just sang out. I sang a song. I forgot what song I sang. And then she said, yes, I could teach you. You could come to my home once a week. So since then, 5 years, I went to her home once a week in order to have a lesson. At the time she was just 8 years old, she had to ride a bicycle for 40 minutes every week to have her teacher's house. For 5 years, nothing could stop her. She even asked to do some housework and earned some money to pay the tuitions. Colleen enjoys the joys of singing and never complains at all. Being alone, pretending he was by my side, feeling lonely, he was with me until the sun rises. In the dark, I could still feel his embrace. Every time I am lost, I just have to close my eyes. He could always find me. Now Colleen is not only a vocal performer but also a pioneer in Taiwan vocal courses for children. Who's talking now? When you're making a sound with your throat, your voice didn't come out. However, if you sing from your belly, it would be different. What kind of method could we use to voice out from belly? Actually, when Colleen is practicing, she never let herself to be in the leisure. As a lover of children, she studied and licensed in early childhood and music and movement, then joined the team of Child Center Intelligent Development. When Colleen just came, she was teaching kinder music, which is the music and the movement. Then you just found out that her voice is very special. I just asked her, maybe you could teach other lessons such as how to use the voice and control voice, and I think this kind of lesson could increase children's confidence. Colleen used her talents teaching this group of little kids the basic method of breathing, also lead them entering the field of music in advanced. Prepare 1, 2, 3, take breath, take breath, take breath. I think her teaching methods, compared with Taiwan other institutions, perhaps choirs, her methods are not the same, because she could start with something different ways, leading them to voice some sounds. I think it's actually a quite new experience. However, to fulfill her dream, one by step is not easy because the program of child vocal music is the first movement in Taiwan. You would need some courage to open this program. The differences of ages, sometimes when we're teaching, it's really painful to us. The older children will think some children are very naughty, and this kind of situation will always happen when the gap of age difference is too wide. So after one class, we could discuss right away. Actually, to a teacher during the class, there must be some part of the class that makes her feel frustrated about facing the frustration, correcting it immediately. Colleen is always an active person. She separates students according to their ages and prepares teaching material, designing programs. For example, she uses the rubber band to let children know the tense of voice, or using the mask to loosen kids' muscles on the face. Voicing out with such mouth looks like an easy program, but it's a result for her and her partner's hard efforts. I was thinking another different activity after actually I came out with something, the song of Gingerbread Man, the story of Gingerbread Man, the story, they're all the same. Maybe dad and mom should be different. I think we could have some shape of dad and some shape of mom, and there are some other places where I'm telling the story. We could run to the place. Ginger Man ran to that place about 1 week before we could arrange this lesson for the next week. Because there are a lot of things to prepare, different part, different lesson. With a different part of lesson programs, Colleen's eyes are always shining for it. She is always full with positive energy to spread the joy to our people around her. I feel happy. The first time when you meet her, you would think of this lady. She's very happy. She has a positive attitude and she's very optimistic. So when she enters here, when she's singing, what we will do today and what's the program of today? I think for my program, it's a very good start of my day. Singing is Colleen's daily energy source, comes from those children's pure songs. It always gives her infinite strength. I'm able to be with the kids every day, to see them happy, to see them develop. In fact, actually it works. It let me feel like I could make some friends and make some children grow up happily. Because most of the time, singing is joyful. Singing, dancing, cooking, reading, all are their contentment. So I'm happy too every day. Because I'm very happy. Being in Taiwan for 15 years, she's happy every day. Colleen said that because here she achieves her passion for singing dreams, and she also wished this joy could be passed to Taiwan's next generation. An Indonesian student became the wife of a pastor, and now she helps Indonesian youngsters. Well, we have a new friend. He came from Indonesia. He just got here yesterday. My name is Norman. I study and learn. At beginning, he hasn't accustomed to here and he is homesick. Warmly greeting the guest, she's Indonesian Chinese Li Baoling, have been living in Taiwan for 26 years. She often says that she came here just earlier than others. If I met those who just came here or married to here or just came here to be a student, I just tell them that don't be afraid. We all come through like this. Let me help you because we're like family. If you have difficulties, just let us know. We could help you as you can. Being afraid is the inevitable emotion for everyone being in a foreign place, because herself had been through it. Lead to those hometown fellows from Indonesia would always give them a hand and take care of them a little bit more. Of course, there's something they have to face themselves. It's impossible for us to help them all, or else they're unable to grow up. For those things they have to face by themselves, we just need to give them some courage. You can do it. Of course you can face it. Lee was born and growing up from Indonesia. The financial situation of her family is quite well. She never thought her identity of overseas Chinese would let her leave her home miles away and to Taiwan, such a far country. Where is Taiwan? I don't know. My parents think our family is the third generation of Chinese people, so at least I should learn some Mandarin. As a Chinese, you should learn Chinese. As a follow parents' expectation, Li, without other thoughts, came to Taiwan. Because my parents have a restaurant and that restaurant in Bali Island gets many Taiwanese guests, mom and dad likes their Taiwanese accents and they don't like the accent of our Asians, the ancient of mainland China, and asked me if I want to study in Taiwan. At that time, I was just 18 years old. I was very innocent. Whatever my parents planned for me, I'll just do it. At that time, Li just graduated from high school. That's her first time leaving her parents, and she had to earn a living in Taiwan independently. Originally, she thought it's just a short trip just for studying abroad, but since she never went back to her hometown. The first 3 months when I came to Taiwan, I just started to learn Mandarin, and I thought Mandarin is very interesting. Because the teacher of Indonesia gave me a book, which is the textbook of first and second grades of primary school, and I thought it's fun and easy. Coming over to Taiwan, what I was facing is a test for college. Oh my God, I totally can't understand, and I felt a lot of pressure. The difficulties she faced is not just her Mandarin level, the diet habit, and also made her feel pain. I could remember clearly that when my cousin brought me to eat beef noodle, I took out all of the oil off my top of my soup. I was thinking the noodles was too greasy. But also the rice of Taiwan, I think it's greasy too. Deeply understanding that diet could comfort the fellow in the foreign lands, she is known for her occupation too, to teach Indonesian students who are just here which Taiwanese gourmet is suitable for them. Here are a lot of gourmet. When we just came to Taiwan, we haven't got used to Taiwanese food, so we would choose that. We think Indonesians like fried food more, so we just introduce to the new students something they don't feel strange and something they can accept. So you like fried food too? It's delicious, very delicious. We all like fried chicken breasts, so I introduced them before. This is fried chicken breast. Chicken breast, you have to learn these 2 words. The civil gourmet, fried chicken breast, apparently becomes the cure of Indonesians homesick. However, it still lacks of an Indonesian flavor. Li would cook herself by this time, using some hometown flavor to treat herself and satisfy the hometown fellows at the same time. Press, 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 press. Put in some brown sugar. Bigger, bigger. When they just came from Indonesia, sometimes they just haven't got used to Taiwanese food. Usually we would make a traditional Indonesian dessert for them. This is a step 2. We would choose some easy one and they could do it with us together. 18 years ago, after Li graduated from college, she married to a pastor who is from Indonesia too. The couple stays and serve in Taiwan, but they always have a plan that someday they would return their hometown in Indonesia. Unexpectedly, they have a heartbreaking news from their hometown. What should we do? We just think Indonesian is just like our home. At that time, we cried together. We just think, why did our favorite place become like this? An anti-Chinese riot reveals the pain in Indonesian Chinese bottom heart, and it led Li and her husband rethink about their future once again. Being a Chinese in Indonesia is really not easy. Sometimes we're on the road, we take a walk like this, and the Indonesians would say, "They're China, they're China." They're white. But just because our ancestors migrated to Indonesia, we are to be Indonesians. We could not choose any other countries, but that country didn't provide us a stable and a safe environment. Unable to be back in Indonesia, Lee thinks herself is a duckweed without root, do not know where she should go and what to do. Fortunately, Taiwan gave her comforts at the same time. Many Western countries would stay away from yellow-skinned people like us. Instead, Taiwanese people, unlike Indonesians who discriminate us in such ways, we are welcomed. You are new residents. You are expatriates. We'll help you. With any difficulties, we'll help. I think Taiwan, this country, to me, is a friendly place where I could also live stably and safely. I like Taiwan very much. They experienced the warmth after that incident. The couple realized that Taiwan is not a strange country anymore. The human warmth here has already become their warmest comforts. Since we decided to settle down in Taiwan, after we made up our minds, this is a big change. You will start to accept all your environment gradually. Your neighbors are not temporarily neighbors. The school for your children is not a temporary school. It's a school that your children will graduate from. All the way they came through just like this and rooting in Taiwan gradually, but Lee never forgets where she comes from, and she never changed her heart to serve her hometown fellows because of the race fiat. So I just use my experience, a person who has been here seeing Norman and other friends from Indonesia coming like this. I could understand language, food, and friends are their biggest struggles. I was willing to accompany with them or to be their friends. This could calm them down and let them accept quickly with the difficulties and challenges from the environment. The place where to buy water. Coming to church and meeting Pastor Huang, I think he is just like my parents. Because he has been Taiwan for a long time, he helps me to understand some part of Taiwan that I could notice living a part of away from my hometown. I also want to talk to my parents. Because Pastor Huang is just like my parents, a senior, just like my father. I could complain to him. Taking care of Indonesian students, just like their own children, all kinds of things about daily life, Lee leads them patiently to search and to understand step by step. Hi, Mrs. Wu, how are you? I bring an Indonesian student. He just came here, yes. He is searching a room. Very kind of you. Search a room. Okay, here. Is it only for you or with your friend? Only for me, for one person. Well, let me show you the room together. Okay, thank you very much. Please. When students just came to Taiwan, they faced the problem of where they live, or where they would eat and how will they go to school. Yes, we just help them to do some shopping for what they usually need. And we would introduce this laundry store. We would bring our clothes here. They will charge you by the weight, and they don't know how to boil the water. I just tell them, just insert the coin into this machine, $5 or $10, you could have your drinking water. From a high school girl who doesn't know where Taiwan is, to now Lee falls in love with this land, we could see what she found here is not just a home she could stay at ease. She also used her unselfish love to let those Indonesian fellows in the foreign land to feel the warmth like being a family. Taiwan is my home. We see tolerance and learning and also see the power of new inhibitors. See you next week.